Well, good morning, everybody. It is still the 19th, and as you can see, we've been digging in our old rice fields, making rows here, and Lando started this yesterday, and as you can see, just digging up rows. After the heavy rain last week, before that it would have been impossible to do this. And also this morning, after I wished my lovely wife a happy birthday, there's always some work to do. Lando and I came down here and I basically went after all the weeds in the rows, and he did the turning of the dirt. So we got lots of piles of weeds here. As you can see, that'll all go up, and we'll chop it up and it'll go in the compost piles. But yeah, we've got our rows separated out here. We pulled all the old tomato and pepper plants here. Previously, before the heavy rain here, we did the bottom two fields down there right above the pond, and we did part of this one. And of course the heavy rain kind of washed them down a little bit. The sun just came out. It's been kind of partly cloudy today, so we were able to do a lot of this work because this is basically sunshine all day long. See if I can get over up here a little bit and get a better look at it. And these were small rice fields, and what we decided to do after the drought last year, and that was to turn them into planting. And of course, as you can tell by old videos, and if you've been following Beth and I, we had an outstanding bean crop off the long beans off these two fields here, and down below we had peppers and tomatoes, and wow, yeah, absolutely excellent. So it's time to start. This is kind of the preparation now for the coming planting. I'm still not convinced, even though we've had rain and quite a bit of it, that the rainy season is here. It's just too hot. Very hot during the days. And when that sun pops out, it's just almost excruciating. The heat and the humidity just kind of sucks everything out of you. But because of the rain, it was a good time to turn the soil, get it into rows again, pull up the weeds so they kind of die, and at least get most of them. Then we'll be bringing down compost from the compost rows and adding to each row, and then we'll turn them again and basically leave them sit. I'm going to do that now. If they sit for a month or two, that just basically assists in turning all the vegetation in there into the needed minerals and ingredients that the plant needs, and they'll just decompose more being in the rows and that. And then continue to kind of weed them here. So this has this is part of the preparation now for the gardening part, and we'd like to get enough beans that we could start selling. We'll just have to see. We're really not big enough to get into any type of commercial operation at all. My main interest, of course, in the beans, as you saw last fall, was being able to do some canning of beans and get back into the preservation of food for long-term storage, and that was my main concern. But this is the start. This is kind of where we start, and I'm going to take you up into the garden rows here. As you can see, some of the grass is getting kind of long, and that's part of the weeds that's in the grass that's getting long. None of it's really grass. It's all weeds and just different types of weeds. I'm going to take you up to the garden rows here, because we'll start working on the garden rows here. Way back a few weeks ago I ran a video too where I basically turned all the garden rows except for the onion section right there, and the heat just the first time that they have not survived basically the dry season, and then we use them to replant again. Our onions did not survive this dry season and the drought, but as you can see, the weeds do. I don't care how dry or miserable it is, you pour a little water on some soil and weeds will grow here. But you can kind of see here of the garden rows, and there's a lot of roots in the garden rows here, and we'll start going through that now, and after we get the roots and everything out that are in the rows, we'll add some compost here also, and then build up the rows the way they should. As you can see here, there's a lot of, see the weeds? Yeah. And the roots, boy, they're just horrendous here. It's like they've got a life of their own that just spread out through the soil, and as you can see as you look up the row here, and we're going to have to go and take all that out and kind of sift through it, and you really can't use a sifter, so you just got to use a digger and just go slow a little bit at a time to get all that out and get the soil down like I did right here. As you can see, all the weeds right here, and then get the soil that's like this. You know, this is what you want. Yeah, good dark soil, and that for planting. And this is kind of the yearly process I've been going through here. These garden rows have been here now going on 7 years. Every year I go through the same thing, but we've had some good results, and the soil is finally getting where I wanted it from the beginning, and it takes a long time. It takes years to build up the soil here, and I'm trying to do it organically so that we will have really a self-sufficient garden here and be able to grow a lot of the vegetables. So from the back of the camera here, I'm going to let everybody go. All the mango trees are looking so good and starting to produce the mangoes from my pruning earlier this year. And everything's looking really good. That one big rain, like I said, wow, did we need that. And it's helped so much. We just, I wish if they're seeding, go ahead and seed some more. We need about 2, 3, 4 more rains like that. So just kind of keeping our fingers crossed here. Until that happens, or until I'm back again, everybody have a good day. Like and subscribe, and God bless every one of you.